Israel. Right, first and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashema Mashiach Komadak Yahushua. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which the world calls God. And Yahweh Shah is the name of his only begotten Son, which the world only calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give a strong shalom to all the mighty men. They're going out there, they're laboring. They're presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. They're doing all they can to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. They're enduring the elements, the 100-degree weathers, the freezing below codes, and everything that's trying to hinder the work of the Most High. Shalom, shalom. I want to give another strong shalom to the Akwath, right? The sisters that are at home, wherever it's in their husbands, being teachers of good things, and the unmarried sisters, being tender, delicate, and on fire for the Most High. Shalom, shalom. I want to give, last but not least, another strong shalom to all the mighty teenagers and children in this truth, doing all they can to make their calling and election sure, right, in these last days. And the topic of this cold cut is titled knowledge without action is pointless, right? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding without action or without you applying it is pointless, right? In these last days, as we approach the last days more and more, you're going to be tested on the things that you know, not only the things that you know. The Most High is going to see if you're going to apply what you know. You can know all of the breakdowns. You can know history, archaeology, prophecy. You can know the law. You know what I'm saying? Wisdom. But if you don't perform what you know in this truth, on this daily path, this daily walk, it's pointless. Why? Because you know these things. You know what's going on. You know the commandments. You know the law. You have certain men and women, they know how to please the Most High God. You know the commandments. You know you can't be around people in the world. You know about the spiritual realm, the third heaven, the different demons that's on the left hand and on the right hand side. You know these things, but yet you're still not applying what you know. So we're going to go into it showing you how imperative it is to apply the scriptures. That's very, very, very important. You have to apply the scriptures, because if you don't, you're deceiving yourself, as it is written. Right? Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 19. All right, let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 19, and verse number 24. Right? Well, I'm going to start at verse 19. Right? It's Sirach, chapter 19 and 19. It says, "The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, and they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality." So the knowledge of the commandments, and it's many different commandments, right? You have many different statutes and ordinances that go into you being an Israelite in this truth. All right. That's the doctrine of life. That's how you live. That's how your spirit quickens. That's how your spirit becomes a living soul, by you keeping these commandments and you having the knowledge of the commandments. That's what's causing your face to shine. That's what's causing you different people to look at you different. You have a different spirit, and they can sense that. So that's what you call the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord, and it is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. It says, "The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law." So true wisdom is you performing the law. True wisdom is you knowing the things you're supposed to do and doing it in this truth. True wisdom is knowing what you're not supposed to do and abstaining from that. If you know what to do, you know the judgments of the Lord. A lot of brothers, they know the Most High could judge them. They have experienced judgment, and they've seen judgment fall on others. They know the judgments of the Lord. They know what the Most High commanded them not to do. They know what spirit they should be moving in, yet they still decide not to apply the knowledge that the Lord gave them. right? It says, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law. See, it's levels to this truth, right? You could come into this truth. You can know John 3:16. All right, you know we the Israelites. You know the Christian church was a lie. These different religions was set up from slavery to indoctrinate us. You could break free from those chains and be consciously aware. But if you don't perform what you know, it's pointless. That's like you in school. You a straight A student. You know all that you've been studying. You know all the answers on the test. All right. But when the test comes, the teacher gives you the test. You know the answers, but you put the wrong answers. That's madness. Hey, sometimes the teachers, hey, they know when the student is straight A, and they know what the student knows and what they don't know. And the Most High knows you. The Most High knows that you know what's going on, right? You haven't. It's not like you coming into the truth 2 months. You have certain brothers and sisters. They've been in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years now, heavily into it, heavily studying. And when the Lord is giving you these different tests, He want to see if you could apply what you know. And if you don't apply what you know, guess what? You fail the test. Read on. Reading on, it says, and the knowledge of his omnipotency. Jumping down to verse number 23. It says, there is a wickedness and the same an abomination, and there is a fool wanting in wisdom. He that hath small understanding and fear of God. So a man that has small understanding, but he fears God. The Lord gave him, he know about the law. He know about the commandment. Now, he might not have great understanding. He might not know what's going on in Revelation, the 13th chapter, how to break it down. He might not know certain ordinances on the law. All he know is the dietary law. All this man knows, he might know John 3:16, right? He knows other commandments. Thou shalt not commit adultery, right? Thou shalt not covet. Keep the Sabbath day, right? He knows he's reading every day, right? He's praying to the Most High. But his understanding is not vast. He doesn't know 2nd Esdras 11 and 12, right? Dealing with the 12 feathers and the 8 contrary feathers. He doesn't, it's certain things this man doesn't know. It says, he that hath small understanding and feareth God is better that have one that have much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High. And you see brothers like this all the time, right? Men that have much wisdom, great understanding, but guess what? They end up going off. And you would think, well, hold on, this brother got a lot of wisdom. Probably got a lot of classes he did, a lot of videos done, a lot of street teachings. But guess what? He ended up getting exposed and he went off. Why? Because he didn't fear God. He knew it all. He knew what to do and what not to do, but he didn't apply it himself. And this where they say in the word, hey, this is where the real games begin. Because it's levels to this truth. You really start living this truth when you start applying what you know. That's when temptation is going to be harder. More demons is going to come to your way. It's going to be more tests. That's when you're not in this truth when you know that you're an Israelite. No, guess what? You really in this thing when you start applying what you know. And you got different demonic forces. They trying to attack you. They trying to get you to stop applying what you know. Right? You have noticed when you don't apply what you know, it's like spirits, they leave you alone. They're not really messing with you. Everything's kind of cool. But the moment you start walking this walk, you got your fringes on, right? You're praying every day. A temptation comes your way, you resist temptation, you say no. And you think about the precepts. The flesh kicks in and you say, no, I'm not operating in that spirit. That's when the real games begin. But a lot of brothers, they can't endure for a long period of time when the real games begin. So they go off and they transgress the law of the Most High. Now that knowledge that you didn't apply is in vain, is pointless. All right. So it's not about what you know. You can know anything. I mean, it's great men of this world that know a lot of things. Senators, etc. They're morally not upright. So it's not about what you know. It's about you applying what you know. And once you do that, it's a whole different ball game, right? You really on the neck. You're on a level that others is not really on. Because just look around, how many people that you know really apply what they know, right? We talk to our people all the time when we out there teaching. They say, yeah, I know. You tell them, hey, since we're not supposed to be eating pork, all right? Yeah, I know. So they know, but they don't apply what they know. Yeah, sis, you know what I'm saying? You can't be all out here in the streets. You got to put on some clothes. Hey, brother, you got to have a beard on your face. Hey, brother, you an Israelite. Yeah, I know. But they don't apply the knowledge that they know. That's why they end up in the different situations and predicaments that they in. You want to be a man and a woman of applying what you know, of actions. Let's get that in 1 Samuel. Hey, the Lord is a God of action. Right? Let's go to the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2. Right? It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2, and verse number... I'm going to start at verse number 3. Right? It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2, and verse 3. It says, talk no more exceeding proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. So you on a deeper level, you truthfully, you don't want to be talking like that. Right? I don't like talking. Right? You want to be a person, now you want to be comprehending much in few words. There's nothing wrong with talking. But when it comes to this truth, you really don't want to do a lot of talking. Right? You want to do more actions than you do talking. And people, they going to notice that. They going to, okay, this man, he's diligent in his business. Okay, it's just she really believes in the Most High. It says, talk no more exceeding proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. So, hey, the Lord is knowledgeable. Hey, what if the Most High, he knows everything? It's nothing that he don't knows. What if the Lord didn't apply what he knew? He would be powerless. But everything that the Most High God knows, guess what? He's applying that on the earth. That's what makes him such a great almighty being. And if we made in the image of the Lord, we should be doing the same thing. The Lord, he counts actions. He don't care what's up in your head. He don't give a damn about the intentions. He really, truly, on a deeper level, he care about your actions. He's going to see what you're going to do. All right? And it's not like the Lord didn't give us the knowledge. We had a blueprint right here. Right? The blueprint is in his Bible. All right? This is the answer sheet, for lack of better terms. Right? You got the test, and then you got the answer sheet. Any test that's out there, whether that's covetousness, right? Drunkenness, right? Slothfulness, sexual immorality, whatever the test is, the Lord gave us the answers for it. And the Lord gave us the answers of how to deal with our brethren, right? The Most High, he gave us the answers on how to deal with our children. You want to know how to raise a child? Guess what? The answers are in this book. But guess what? People, they know it, but they don't apply it. But I promise you, once you start applying these precepts, hey, you're gonna level up. You're gonna start to stick out. Why? Because the world, they're not applying what they know. They just know better, but the flesh is weak. They give into the flesh. They don't end up, they don't pull it through. So I'm gonna read that again. It says, 1 Samuel 2 and 3, talk more exceedingly proud. Let not the arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. Right? So the Most High, he's weighing your actions in a balance. All right? He's weighing the things that you do. All right? Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 11. and verse number 2. Right? Job chapter 11 and verse number 2. Should not the multitude of words be answered? And should a man of talk be justified? Right? That's a rhetorical question. A man that's full of talk, you got to watch out for those men and women that just, they chat. You want to really pay attention to their actions. And then the Lord said you will be known by your fruits. So on a deeper level, again, it's not about how much you know. It's about what the things that you're applying. I'd rather take a brother who got small understanding, but he's fearing God, than a man that has great wisdom and he's going off. Right? We don't want that brother on our team. We want the brothers that's gonna fear God in the smallest and greatest thing. That's gonna be obedient. Right? It don't care. We'll take a brother, all he know is John 3:16. All right? We'll take a brother that all he know is John 3:16. All right, brother, that's cool. But I know this brother gonna keep the commandments of God. I know he's gonna be a brother. I know he's gonna walk in this thing. He's gonna actually walk this walk, right? I take that brother over a brother. He knows all of the breakdowns. You know what I'm saying? He could kind of call a lot of precepts pretty fast. He's good in the history. He's good in the Hebrew, right? What else? The brother, he's gifted on a spiritual level. But whole time, he's breaking the laws of the Most High. We'll rather take the brother that only know John 3:16, because that's more longevity. Now let's go to the book of James, chapter 1. Right? Let's go to the book of James, chapter 1, and verse number 22. Right? It's the book of James, chapter 1 and 22. It says, but be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. So the Lord said, be doers of the word. It's important to do these words. Right? Let's go to Luke chapter 6 and 46. Right? You can't say you believe in Yahweh Shai, you calling on Yahweh Shai, but you doing none of the things that he's telling you to do. All right? Let's go to Luke chapter 6 and 46. It says, why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Hey, that's a cut. Because you supposed to call on the Lord every day in your prayers. So you calling on the Lord, hey, Lord, Lord. You calling on the Lord, but you're not doing none of the things he's saying. Right? And another thing we got to stop doing, we got to stop worrying about other people, man. Well, so-and-so not applying what they know. All right? Well, so-and-so did this. Guess what? It don't matter what another brother did. Right? You are not the same as another brother. We're just being honest. You're not the same as another sister. It's the Most High created different spirits for the reason. If the Lord wanted to create everybody with the same spirit, he would have did that. Different people, you have different spirits. You have to understand that. So just because somebody else might get away with something that you think truly nobody gets away with anything. The Most High he rewards man according to his works in due season. But hypothetically, let's say somebody does get away with something, or the Most High does show mercy to another brother or sister. That does not mean it will apply the same to you. You got to understand that. Hey, everybody didn't get the same mercy as King David. Right? David, he had, the sure mercies of David. There's certain men, hey, they committed adultery. They got put to death on spot. So you got to understand, everybody doesn't have the same mercy. And you can't worry about what other people is doing. You have to worry about you applying the word. Because at the end of the day, the Most High is going to get up with you if you're not applying the precepts. Right? Let's go to the book of James. So we're not worrying about if another brother is applying the precepts or not. Now we're going to pray for the brother or sister. But at the end of the day, we got to make sure we're up the part first before you try to look at somebody else or compare yourself. All right, that's a big problem that a lot of people deal with, is looking on others and they not looking on their own self. Right? So let's go back to James chapter 1 and 22. It says, "But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves." Right? We was dealing with a sister yesterday, and I was telling her things that she shouldn't be doing, and she was worried about her sister not doing those things. But guess what, sister? I'm not talking about your sister right now. I'm talking about you. So a lot of times you might look on the other things of others. Well, this person is not applying the word. Or this knows better, but they not doing it. Well, yeah, what about you though? Because it starts with us. We could be an example, right? We supposed to be the light in this world of darkness. So it says deceiving your own selves, because that's all you doing, right? You're not playing the Most High. When you don't apply the precepts, you're not applying the Most High. Again, we use the analogy of you being a student and you having a test you have to take. You know all the answers to the test, but you decide to put the wrong answers. Do you think, is that going to harm the teacher? Because you knew all the right answers to the test, but you just put the wrong answers. Is that hurting the teacher? No. The teacher not getting in trouble. It's the same thing with the Most High. You're not deceiving the Lord. Are you deceiving other students because you put the wrong test? No. The other students, they gonna laugh at you. So you only cheating yourself. You selling yourself short. You putting yourself in problems that you're gonna have down the line, big problems that you might not be able to recover from, or problems that's gonna hold you back ultimately. It says, "But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was." Yeah, that's madness. You look in the mirror, you go away, then you forget how you look. Ultimately, is no progress. When you don't apply what you know, you're not going to progress. If you want to progress, you got to apply what you know. That's like you got the blueprint to be able to make over $50,000, and you know it works, but you decide not to do it because of different reasons. That could be distractions, laziness, right? The people you're around. You got to evaluate all of that, because it comes down to it at the Most High, Yahweh Shai chiefly. He's going to reward every man according to their works, whether it be good or bad. All right, let's go to that in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse number 10. Right, it's actually 2 Corinthians. Right, it's 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad." So everybody has to receive the things done in their body, whether it's good or bad. You got to ask yourself, hey, what is the Most High is the Most High gonna reward me according to my evil or my good? Is he gonna reward me according to me applying the precepts or not? Now it's we're gonna get a few accounts, right? But it's a lot of accounts of men that had much wisdom but didn't apply it when the right time was needed to apply it. Right, let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 47. Right, let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 47. And verse number 13, right? It's Sirach chapter 47 and 13. It says, Solomon reigned in a peaceable time and was honored, for God made all quiet round about him, that he might build an house in his name and prepare his sanctuary forever. So King Solomon, it was peace. That's what his name means in the Hebrew, peace. Because it was peace during the time where he was reigning. Verse 14, how wise wast thou in thy youth, and as a flood filled with understanding. Because King Solomon was the wisest king of all time to live, right? He knew the midst, beginnings, and the end of times. It says, thy soul covered the whole earth, and thou fillest it with dark parables. So Solomon, he was spitting out riddles, dark parables. He knew about the secrets. Solomon, he answered all the questions of the Queen of Sheba. Right? It says, thy name went far into the islands, and thy peace was beloved. The countries marveled at thy songs and proverbs and parables and interpretations. Because Solomon, he could break things down. All right, he was wise in judgment. If you came to him in a matter when it concerning the judgment, you didn't know what to do, and he executed that. You know, the Queen of Sheba, she was asking him hard questions. He kind of breaking it down through the spirit of the Most High. It says, by the name of the Lord God, which is called the Lord God of Israel, thou didst gather gold as time and didst multiply silver as lead. Verse 19, it says, thou didst. So it's going into the mighty righteous accounts of Solomon. But guess what? Solomon, you know, he fell short. Why? Because he didn't apply what he knew. Yeah, he knew about the myrtle trees. Right, let's go to that in 1 Kings, 4th chapter. Right, let's go to the book of 1 Kings. Right, and it's not to, you know, talk down upon King Solomon, but everything, the Lord said the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning, that through patience and comfort of the scriptures we might have hope. So we're not downplaying King Solomon at all. But we do want to look at the achievements he did, and we want to apply that, and we want to look at the things that he did wrong, and we want to learn from his mistakes so we don't make the same mistakes that a man made over 2,000 years ago. Right, let's go to the book of 1 Kings chapter 4 and verse number 31. It says, for he was wiser than all men, and Ethan the Ezrahite, and Heman, and Calcol, and Darda, the sons of Mahal, and his fame was in all nations round about. And he spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. He spake of trees, from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto the hyssop that springeth out of the wall. Also spake of beasts and fowls, and creeping things and fishes. So Solomon, he spake of the trees, the different trees, the cedars, the myrtle trees. Solomon, he knew about all of that. But in all of the knowledge in different type of areas that he knew, he didn't apply. And Solomon, let's go to it, right? We don't want to, you know what I'm saying, jump the gun, right? Let's go to Sirach 47 and 19, right? This is the book of Sirach, chapter 47 and 19. It says, thou didst bow thy loins unto women, and by thy body wast thou brought into subjection. Thou didst stain thy honor and pollute thy seed, that thou mightest brought wrath upon thy children, and was grieved for folly. So as we know, when you read 1 Kings, let's go to it, chapter 11 and 1. Although Solomon was, you know, his heart was perfect with the Lord at one point in time, his heart got unperfect with God. Right? Right, let's go to 1 Kings, chapter 11 and 1. It says, but King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, and Zidonians, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, you shall not go into them, neither shall they come into you, for surely they would tear in your heart after their God, Solomon clave to these in love. So Solomon knew this commandment. He knew about Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 3. He knew the law, but yet with all of his knowledge, he still didn't apply the precepts. And all it takes is for you to not apply the scriptures one time. That's all it takes is one time for you. You could be consistent. You be consistent for 15 years applying the precepts. But then one day after that 15 years, you don't apply the precepts one time, all hell could break loose. If the Most High don't have mercy on you. But that's just showing you how important it is to apply what you know. Now, what if a Solomon would apply what he knew? He would have been blameless. He would have had, it would have been nothing you could say. And Solomon knew about women. He wrote about women. So he knew how a woman had the power to destroy a king. Now, some could argue and scholars could say, well, he kind of wrote that after he went off. And that was, his lesson learned. But Solomon still knew the law, right? Again, he had wisdom. The Most High gave it to him. He asked for it. The Lord came to him in a dream. He asked for wisdom. God gave it to him. So Solomon, he wrote Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter. He wrote Proverbs chapter 31. And he wrote about wicked women. He wrote about the women of the other nations, how they could get you ensnared. Solomon wrote these things, but guess what? He didn't apply what he knew. And that's where you could err at. Also, you don't want to quit. The Most High tell you to do something. Now, you might not know why the Lord is telling you to do something, but you want to trust in the Lord. Because if the Most High tell you to do something and you question him, he say, why am I doing this? Hey, Lord. And then you ask in the Lord, hey, Lord. The reason why we know, because we done did it before. You ask in the Lord, hey, Lord, why you tell me not to do this? Then the Lord show you, guess what? Now your integrity is altered because you didn't fully trust in God. You got to be able to trust the Lord. Whatever he tell you to do, just do it. Don't ask why. Sometimes the Lord is protecting you from certain things. All right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 55. Because the moment you ask why, or you start getting curious, and next you know you disobey the word of the Lord, a judgment could happen. When the whole time the Lord was looking out for you. You got to be able to trust that the Most High is going to always protect you. And never ask why. And the Lord, the Lord going to reveal to you in due season why he did the things that he did. Right? It's the book of Isaiah chapter 55 and verse number 6. It says, well, I'm going to start at verse 8. Isaiah 55 and 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, said the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Right? So the Lord, his thoughts is higher than our thoughts. The Lord sees things that we can't see. The Most High, he knows, he's seeing and knows what's going on in places that, guess what, we just don't know. So you got to be able to really trust in him. He tell you to do something, just do it. All right. Now you're going to have temptation, but again, you got to go to the precepts. Okay, I got to apply what I know. All right, let's get another account of a man not applying what he knew. Right? Let's go to the book of 2 Samuel. Right, 1 second. 2 Samuel. Might be 2 Samuel chapter. Right, so like you bear with me, I'm trying to find this precept. Khan, right? It's the book of 2 Samuel chapter 6 and verse number 2. And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Baal of Judah to bring up from thence the ark of God, whose name is called by the name of the Lord of hosts that dwelleth between the cherubims. And they set the ark upon a new cart and brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was in Gibeah, and Uzziah and Ahio, the sons of Abinadab, drave the new cart. And they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was at Gibeah, accompanying the ark of God, and Ahio went before the ark. And David and all the house of Israel played before the Lord on all manner of instruments made of fir wood, even on harps and psalteries and on timbrels and cornets and cymbals. So they having the ark of the Lord, the ark of the covenant. They bringing it out and they praising the Most High. It says, and when they came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzziah put forth his hand to the ark of God and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. Now you might say, well, hold on, what did this man do wrong? Right? Now, when you had the ark of God according to the law, right, which we're gonna get, it's a certain way that you're supposed to carry the ark of the tabernacle. It's supposed to be buried up on staves so it don't fall. Now you can say, well, hold on, these men didn't know better. No, these men knew better because they went to go get the ark. All right, and they knew the law. Again, King David, he's ruling around this time. So it's not like these men don't know what's going on. They were supposed to bear it on staves, and they didn't. So it just so happened that the Ark of the Covenant is shook, and it was about to fall. And this man, he tried grabbing it, and the Most High killed him. Right? It says, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzziah, and God smote him there for his error. And there he died by the ark of God. So the Most High killed this man because he knew better. He was supposed to bear it on staves. All right? But guess what? He didn't apply what he knew, and the Lord ended up killing this man. Now you might say, well, hold on, he had good intentions. He was just trying to save the ark. No, it's not about that. He was supposed to ultimately bear it on staves. And he knew that through the Spirit. But guess what? He didn't bear it on staves. He didn't apply what he knew. Hey, the Most High killed him. So this is how serious things could get. I mean, just look at the Garden of Eden. Eve and Adam, they knew not to eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But Eve, she got seduced. Right? So you want to make sure it's very, very, very important to apply the precepts. Yahweh Shah showed a great example of applying the scriptures and temptation. He knew the scriptures. Let's go to that in Matthew 4. Yahweh Shah, he knew the scriptures and he applied it. He didn't know the scriptures and didn't apply it. All right? Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 4. All right, it's the book of Matthew chapter 4 and verse number 2. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward hungry. And the tempter came to him. He said, if thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. So Yahweh Shah knew the precepts. He quoted the precept. He knew the precept and he applied the precept. So he knew he knew Deuteronomy. He quoted that, and then he didn't eat, and then he didn't command that these stones be made bread and eat. That's how you truly apply the precepts. You don't want to know the precept. You're thinking of the precept. Imagine that you're thinking of the precept, right? It's a Sabbath day. You're thinking of the precept. I know it's a Sabbath day, but you're getting enticed to do God knows what. You're thinking of the precept. You're thinking of the possible judgment, but yet you still break the Sabbath. Hey, it's pointless. You didn't apply what you know. You got certain brothers, they know they not supposed to deal with the heathen. They know they not supposed to be dealing with the other nations, the women of the other nations. Right? They at camp and they saying death to Esau. Right? A brother walked past with an Edomite woman and they shot, hey, get out. Right? You got certain brothers, they shouting out coon. They saying, hey, get out. Next thing you know, the brother dealing with an Edomite woman. So you want to apply what you know. That's very, very, very important, right? That's how you go to the next level. That's how you be a doer of the word and not a hearer only. That's how you truly, ultimately, you truly start living when you start keeping these commandments. All right, let's go to that in the book of Revelation. All right, let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter, see what I want. Revelation chapter 3:1, right? And unto the angel of the church of Sardis write, these things said he that hath the 7 spirits of God and the 7 stars. I know thy works, that thou hast a name, that thou livest and art dead. Right? You don't want to be physically living, but you spiritually dead. Right? That's what's going to happen when you don't apply the precepts. You're going to be physically alive, but you're going to be dead in the spirit. Why? Because these commandments have power in them. This is your strength is the law. Right? Your strength is serving the Most High God. Right? Read Judith the 5th chapter. How we was weakened when we didn't keep the commandments. But when we kept the commandments, the Lord was for us. The Lord was on our side. Your strength is in serving the Most High God. And when you don't serve the Most High God, you will lose all your powers. All right? You're going to feel it in the spirit. Your spirit going to be flickering. All right? You're going to have brain fog. Your mind going to be cloudy. Your judgment is going to be horrible. Why? Because you didn't apply what you know. Right? So with that, we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, woman like Yahushua. Lord willing, this video is edifying. Continue to read, pray, fast, study. Most importantly, beseech the Heavenly Father for his mercy. With that, I'm going to say shalom.